All right, everybody, welcome back to another video here on the Multi-Gen Collectibles YouTube channel. We are taking a look at these cards across multiple different boxes. We're gonna find some basketball, we're gonna find some baseball, we're gonna find some non-sport. Sometimes you never know what we're gonna find. But today, we're diving back into this box of Skybox NBA 1991 set. All right. So as I always say, please drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the cards. Let me know your thoughts on the collection. And let me know your thoughts on your own collection and how you connect with this journey of mine, which I shared with my grandmother for many, many years, which after some reflection recently, it's safe to say that most of these were her cards. And, I have no shame in saying that. I've realized that a lot of these cards actually really were bought from her. And I could say that I had less to do with these cards than maybe I thought. So here's the question. In this box, we have quite a bit of Skybox NBA basketball 1991. And it's looking like these are very repetitive. I have a lot of duplicates, but it makes me wonder, did I buy a box? I'm wondering, was a box bought for me? Did I buy a box of Skybox? I want to believe I did. I'm thinking I bought a box, or a box was bought for me, maybe for a birthday gift. Who knows what it was bought for? Sedell 3, look at that. This is, I think, before he went to the Lakers, right? Yeah, I think that's before he went to the Lakers. Nate McMillan, one of the cornerstones of that Seattle Supersonic team. And then you've got the Rain Man. Look at that. Shawn Kemp. Man, what a player. What a highlight reel he was. Eddie Johnson was on that team. That's right. McMillan was on that team. Ricky Pierce was on that team. Michael Cage was on that team. Dang. Dana Barros. And then, of course, you had Gary Payton, which he's not in any of these cards. Oh, no. No Gary Payton card. But you had Sedell 3. Damn. Okay. It is what it is. On to the Spurs. Looks like these are in team order. Oh, Rod Strickland. That was a player right there. Rod Strickland was a player. There's David Robinson. One of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time, man. Avery Johnson. Also one of the greatest point guards. So for those of you that grew up watching basketball in the early 90s, maybe through the mid 90s, a lot of these players should look familiar to you. A lot of these players you might remember. Willie Anderson. You might remember some of these names, and you might remember some of these teams. Look at Wayman Tisdale. Such a great jazz musician as well. May he rest in peace as well. Yeah, man. So many of these names. Oh, look at Sampson. Ralph Sampson. Multiple Ralph Sampsons. That's a lot of Ralph Sampsons. Jim Less. Yeah, man. Makes me wonder, like back in the early 90s and late 80s, you had to watch the games on television or you had to catch the games on the highlights. And you had to follow the sport very clearly. Like very closely, I should say. If you didn't watch the games, you were reading the newspapers. If you weren't reading the newspapers, you were watching highlights. There was no, following on social media, clips on Instagram, replays on Facebook whenever you wanted or whenever you could. It was basically you had to tap in, and if you missed it, you missed it. Looking here, look at the Trailblazers. If you remember, the Blazers went to the finals against the Chicago Bulls after the first year that they won it against the Lakers. So this Blazers team was stacked. Buck Williams, Cliff Robinson, Terry Porter, right here as you see hitting that jumper over Magic Johnson. Kevin Duckworth, big man. Clyde the Glide. Look at Clyde Drexler. Clyde the Glide Drexler. I haven't listened to the interview that I recently saw over the weekend, but there's a recent interview on YouTube where Isaiah Thomas, the legend himself, Zeke from the Detroit Pistons, actually went on record saying that Clyde Drexler was closer to Michael Jordan as far as talent was concerned, as far as skill was concerned, than anybody else in the league at the time. That he was like that next dude. Danny Ainge was on that team. So that's a very interesting take. Clyde Drexler is a legendary player for sure. Amazing player that he was in his prime. Even coming out of college too. Dan Marley. Dan Marley was for many people that don't know this, not just was a great all-around player, right? But he was a superb defensive player. He was a great defender, which I think is what made him such a great all-around player. Kevin Johnson going up for a layup against Magic Johnson. Looks like Magic Johnson is in a couple cards here. Again, Magic Johnson was my favorite basketball player growing up. Jeff Hornacek before he went to the Utah Jazz. Tom Chambers, Joe Barry Carroll, Jason Williams, but not the singer. Not that Jason Williams. Hersey Hawkins. Hersey. Ricky Green. Armand Gilliam with the Gumby haircut. I see you. Johnny Dawkins. Legendary player as well. Manute Bol. Look at Manute. Charles Barkley with the 76ers. Only one of those? Dang, only one Barkley. Okay, all right, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see, as we continue down the Skybox cards journey, I wonder how close to a complete set I got. Because, man, there's a lot of, let's see, they're not in numerical, or are they? Oh, they are in numerical. Oh, snap. Now I really wonder, did I have a box that I went through? Or did I just buy hella packs? I must have bought hella packs, or I must have received a box as a gift. So these are in numerical team order. And now I wonder, how close to a set did I get? I don't know. All right, moving on with the Kings. Ron Anderson. Some more 76ers. Sam Vincent. Jeff Turner. Again, this is pre-Shaq. Okay, this is the year before Shaq came into the league. So you're not going to see Shaq in this Orlando Magic team cards here. You're not going to see Shaq, unfortunately. No Shaq, but we got Gerald Wilkins with the New York Knicks. Kenny Skywalker, Kiki Vandeweghe, John Starks, look at that. Charles Oakley, the Enforcer, Charles Oakley. He was such a baller, man. Mark Jackson, mama, there goes that man. And then, of course, the man, Patrick Ewing. Looks like we got about 6 of those ones. Damn, we got a lot of Patrick Ewings in there. Oh, look at that name. I haven't seen that name in a minute. Reggie Theus. Looks like Terry Mills trying to post up Scottie Pippen. Chris Dudley. Oh, snap. Look at that Derek Coleman card. Is this his rookie card? This would be his rookie card, right? This is the 91-92. Doesn't say how many games he played. So this is his second year card. All right. That's right. This is his second year card. Quite a few of those. Judd Buechler. Sam Bowie. Don't get me started on Sam Bowie. If you know, you know. Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, let's go through one more stack. Here, we'll put those together. We'll do one more stack of Skybox, and then that'll leave us enough for one more video. So we'll break this up into 4 parts, right? Yeah, 4 parts. Oh, let's pick that Michael Jordan card back up with Dikembe back there. All right, here we go. Last stack for today. Going back to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jerome Richardson, otherwise known as Pooh Richardson. Sam Mitchell. Let's see, Tyrone Corbin. Tony Campbell. Oh, moving on to the Milwaukee Bucks. Alvin Robertson. Getting beat up by Byron Scott. Fred Roberts. Dale Ellis, such a deadly shooter, man. Such a deadly shooter. Huh. The Bucks. A lot of Bucks team cards. Interesting. Miami Heat. And now the Clippers. Loy Vaught. All right. So we're going to stop there for today. And then that's going to bring us into part 4. Okay. So I am, what's the word? I'm amazed at how much of this Skybox set I actually did have from 91, 92. And it makes me wonder how close I was to actually completing a set, because now it makes me question, did I have a box? Did I have 2 boxes? Was I trying to complete a set? I have a feeling I was probably trying to build a set. So this leaves us with more questions than answers. But I'm loving what I'm seeing. And if you feel nostalgic, if you feel like you're also going back in time to your collection and maybe your childhood, then let me know. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, express yourself, as we say. All right. So drop a comment, share your thoughts. Let me know what you think of these cards and how you connect. And let's see how we can continue to build this community together. All right. The good old days, as they say, of the early 90s, the early Chicago Bulls run, the end of the Lakers Showtime era, and such an interesting time with basketball cards nonetheless. All right. I'm gonna catch you in the next video, y'all. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you next time. Peace out.